What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I feel like it's been a while every time I record a video. I'm not very consistent with it, but in this video, I'm gonna mix up the format a little bit. I'm literally just gonna riff. I don't usually do this. I usually like plan out what I'm gonna say a little bit. But I don't know, I'm just feeling inspired to like get in front of the camera and start talking about this topic that I'm really passionate about. And it's funny because the topic that I'm going to talk about is related to like just doing something that you feel called to do, which is what I'm doing right now. So, this morning I was on Instagram and I came across a quote that Aubrey Marcus posted on his Instagram, and I'm going to read it right now because I have my computer here and I'll also put it up here. But the quote says, "In the quiet, in the stillness, echoing off the rock bottoms and through the dark nights, there has been a whisper, reminding you that you are capable of something more, urging you to commit to your intentions, asking you to surrender your fear and attachments to the trophies of validation." And then he goes on to say, "The whisper will never stop, and when you're ready to listen to it, it will usher you to greatness." So I read that quote and I was kind of like, okay, that's cool. And then I was getting on with my day. And then something funny happened. I'll just tell the story real quick. I was on my computer and basically I needed to open up a file for work, and I was logged into my personal Gmail address. So it popped up all these Google Docs that I had in my personal folder. So a couple years ago, I was doing morning pages on my computer and I was uploading them to Google Docs. I usually write morning pages. If you don't know what they are, for writers, writers like to do morning pages as a way of just getting the creativity flowing. You wake up and it's the first thing you do in the morning is you write, and it's like a certain amount of time, it's a certain length. And I was doing it on my computer a couple years ago, and for some reason, one of my morning pages from like December 2021 popped up, and I decided to check it out. So I started reading it, and I could actually probably just pull it up here. I think I still have it up. It's funny because everything in my morning page was basically things that I have heard myself say over and over and over again to myself for years, like probably for decades at this point. I was saying how I want to write a book, how I have enough content and stories from my life that I can put into at least one book. I was talking about I've really been wanting to do more, like put more content out into the world, more messages out into the world around these topics that I'm really passionate about, which include, it's all kind of in the realm of spirituality and the law of attraction and meditation and consciousness and all of that stuff. And I was just, in my morning page, I was writing about that. I was like, I've been wanting to do this forever, but it's the only thing holding me back is fear. Like I literally said, the only thing holding me back is fear. What if people judge me? What if it fails? What if people think I look like a privileged girl who hasn't had real problems trying to be a coach in her 20s? That is still a fear of mine. Like, I don't want to first of all, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be like popular. I really don't want to be like a coach. But I just, and you guys might have experienced this before, like when you come across knowledge that really resonates with you, I feel like for most people, the next step is to just, you have this instinct to share it with people, whether it's like the people around you, or in today's world, you can share it with so many people by just getting in front of a camera or writing. I also have a blog that I like to write on. And the intention behind it is really just to like share this messaging. Like I can't really explain it any other way. And like, also, nothing makes me feel better than when people comment on like my YouTube videos and say like, wow, this really resonated with me, or this helped me so much. I have some videos out there like how to be happy with less, and I know that touched a lot of people. And even just if one person responds to me in that way, that makes me feel so good, because then I'm like, yes, this is what I want, like for these, to just share messages with other people, things that resonate. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm getting in front of the camera right now to make this video, because So anyway, it was like a funny coincidence that after coming across that Aubrey Marcus quote this morning, I then came across this Word document of me saying, like, I still want to do this, I still want to do this. But there was always something holding me back. And that thing was ultimately fear, because I would always like, it was fear of like all the things I just listed, but it was also like my mind was playing this trick on me of like distracting myself with other things. Like I would make this such a heavy topic, like oh, is this really my thing though? Do I really want to like, what about these other things? Or I would say, oh, I'm getting signs to do something else. Like maybe it's just not for me. Maybe oh, I should just do this job instead, or this other thing. And then I realized today, putting the two things together, the quote I found this morning with these persistent thoughts I've been having, I put them together and I was like, that is a whisper from the universe, from God, whatever you want to call it. That itself is the whisper that I've been hearing over and over and over again for years, that this is what I need to do. And whether or not it's like my life purpose, or we don't need to make it like this heavy thing, it's still something that I want to do. It's still something that's like something in me has been calling me to do this. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, when I think about like a whisper, like when I first read that quote, I was like, oh, maybe you see it in the form of like signs, like, oh, is the universe speaking to me? Maybe for me, I talk a lot about hummingbirds. Like that's a sign that I've used in the past to like communicate, like, am I on the right path? Show me a hummingbird if I am. And then I would like see them in weird places. But something else I realized today is that whispers from the universe don't necessarily need to take that form. It can be as simple as having the same persistent thought about something over and over and over again, to the point that you just know you need to do it and you can no longer not listen to it. And that was the realization I had today, that like, if I look through all my journal entries, if I look through the morning pages, over and over and over again, I talk about, oh, I want to start like doing something with all this knowledge I'm getting from like books and podcasts, and I just want to like share it with people. And like, it doesn't need to turn into anything. I just feel this calling to share it with the world. And that in itself, I realized, has been a whisper over and over and over again. So the whole reason I'm sharing this in this video is to tell you that if this resonates with you, perhaps you can think about if in your life, and again, I'm not trying to be a coach, but maybe there are things like that in your life that you realize have been calling on, like something is calling on you to do something, whether it's write a book or start a podcast or join a sports team or quit your job or go volunteer somewhere or just try something new, or just kind of like, yeah, like creating a change in your life in a way that you kind of know deep down is supposed to happen, but you might have been putting it off or distracting yourself with other things, or saying, maybe that's not for me. Or ultimately you just feel fear that it's not going to work out, fear of failure or whatever. So anyway, I encourage you to think about it. If there's any kind of whispers in your life that you think are calling on you to do something, I hope that this little story that I'm sharing is just kind of an example of what it can look like. It doesn't need to be some big serious thing. It could be as simple as finding the one quiet room in your house, sitting down in front of a camera and just starting. And one more thing that I actually wrote in my morning pages a couple years ago when I was writing about all this was, I said, I have to remind myself that my bigger regret would be, what if I never started it and always wondered, what if? So note to self, this is a reminder to myself and maybe a reminder to you as well. Don't let yourself have that regret. Life's too short. You just got to do it. And yeah, I hope this resonated with you in some way. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. I want to start doing these more. As I said, I want to just kind of get in front of the camera and riff a little bit on these topics that are on my mind, and hopefully it resonates with you. Let me know if it does, or let me know if it doesn't. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.